Every day, our phones buzz with breaking news, political fights, economic uncertainty, shootings, global conflict. It's like we're living in a constant storm of information, and for many Americans, this barrage has become a source of relentless anxiety. Research shows that exposure to negative news can lead to increased stress levels, affecting our mental health significantly. Studies indicate that people who consume a lot of news report higher levels of anxiety and depression. It's not just the headlines. It's the feeling of helplessness that often accompanies them. When we see images of protests or hear about rising inflation, it can feel like we're trapped in a cycle of worry that's hard to escape. The impact is particularly pronounced among younger generations. Many are grappling with what's often referred to as news fatigue. This constant state of alertness can lead to burnout, making it difficult to focus on daily tasks or even enjoy life. It's a paradox. While we want to stay informed, the very act of doing so can leave us feeling overwhelmed. So what can we do about it? First, it's essential to set boundaries. Consider limiting your news consumption to specific times of the day. This can help create a buffer between you and the constant influx of information. Also, seek out positive news stories or solutions-based journalism that highlights progress and resilience. It's crucial to balance the negative with the positive to maintain a healthier perspective. Engaging in mindfulness practices can also be beneficial. Techniques like meditation or deep breathing can help ground you and reduce anxiety. And don't underestimate the power of community. Talking about your feelings with friends or family can provide support and remind you that you're not alone in this struggle. Ultimately, while we can't control the news, we can control how we respond to it. By taking proactive steps to manage our media consumption and prioritize our mental health, we can navigate this chaotic landscape with greater resilience and clarity. I can't be the only one who feels this way. Every time I pick up my phone, it's like I'm stepping into a whirlwind of chaos. News alerts pop up constantly, each one more alarming than the last. It's overwhelming. I mean, we're living in an age where 24/7 cable news and social media updates are just a swipe away. It's hard to escape it. You scroll through your feed, and there it is, a headline about a natural disaster, a political scandal, or a violent incident. It's relentless. And the worst part? It doesn't just stop at the news. Those push notifications from various apps keep buzzing, pulling me back into that cycle of anxiety. I find myself checking my phone late at night, unable to sleep, my mind racing with all the information I've consumed. This constant barrage of traumatic content has a name: headline stress disorder. It sounds dramatic, but it's real. Studies show that nearly 70% of U.S. adults report feeling stressed by the news. That's a staggering number. It's like we're all in this collective state of unease, feeling unsafe even when nothing is happening to us personally. I used to think I could handle it. I wanted to stay informed, to know what was going on in the world. But now, I'm starting to wonder if that knowledge is worth the toll it takes on my mental health. I feel anxious, irritable, and sometimes I just can't shake this feeling of dread. It's not just me, either. Friends and family are feeling it too. Conversations often drift toward the latest crisis, and it's exhausting. We're all in this cycle of consuming news, but at what cost? I've started to notice that I'm more on edge, more reactive to things that wouldn't have bothered me before. I've tried to set boundaries, limiting my news intake, turning off notifications, even taking breaks from social media. It helps, but the urge to stay connected is strong. It's like a double-edged sword. I want to be informed, but I also want to protect my peace of mind. I've realized that it's okay to step back. It's okay to take a break from the noise. The world will still be there when I come back. I can't change what's happening out there, but I can control how I respond to it. It's a balancing act, and I'm still figuring it out. So, if you're feeling the weight of the news cycle, know you're not alone. We're all navigating this together, trying to find a way to stay informed without losing our sanity. It's a challenge, but it's one worth tackling. We owe it to ourselves to find that balance. Politics has become one of the most significant sources of stress in our lives today. It's not just about policies anymore. It feels deeply personal. I remember family dinners that used to be filled with laughter and stories. Now, they often turn into battlegrounds over political beliefs. One side brings up a news story, and suddenly, the atmosphere shifts. Voices rise, tensions flare, and what should be a warm gathering turns into an exhausting debate. Social media has only amplified this divide. It's like a digital war zone where every post can ignite a firestorm of comments. Friends become foes over a single tweet or a shared article. I've seen people lose friendships over political disagreements, and it's heartbreaking. The fear of backlash looms large. Many of us hesitate to express our opinions, worried about the potential fallout. It's as if we're walking on eggshells, trying to navigate a minefield of differing beliefs. And let's talk about the protests. They're meant to be a platform for change, but often they devolve into chaos. Signs that once represented hope now feel like weapons in a culture war. The passion is palpable, but so is the hostility. It's draining to witness, let alone participate in. An expert once said, "Politics used to be about policy. Now it feels personal, and personal conflict is mentally draining." That statement resonates deeply. It's not just about who's in office or what laws are being passed. It's about how these issues seep into our daily lives and relationships. We're left feeling exhausted, as if every conversation is a battle we didn't sign up for. The irony is that politics is supposed to empower us. It's about having a voice, making choices, and shaping our future. But instead, it often feels like a heavy weight on our shoulders. We're caught in a cycle of anger and frustration, where compromise seems impossible. What happened to civil discourse? When did sharing differing views become synonymous with personal attacks? It's time we reclaim political discussions as a space for dialogue, not division. We need to remember that behind every opinion is a person with their own experiences and fears. Let's strive for understanding, even when we disagree. It's okay to have different beliefs, but we must find a way to discuss them without tearing each other apart. If we can shift our focus from winning arguments to fostering conversations, maybe we can alleviate some of this stress. After all, we're all in this together, navigating a complex world that requires collaboration, not conflict. Every day, we're bombarded with headlines that seem to scream at us. Inflation is rising, the cost of living is skyrocketing, and job security feels like a distant memory. It's hard not to feel overwhelmed. When I walk through the grocery store, I can't help but notice how much more I'm spending on basics. A loaf of bread that used to cost a couple of bucks now feels like a luxury item. And don't even get me started on gas prices. Filling up my tank feels like I'm emptying my wallet, and I know I'm not alone in this. These economic stressors are more than just numbers on a screen. They seep into our daily lives and impact our mental health in profound ways. The constant worry about finances can lead to anxiety that feels like a heavy weight on our chests. It's like a never-ending cycle of stress. Every time I check the news, I brace myself for another report that sends my heart racing. Job insecurity is another layer of this anxiety. The fear of layoffs looms over many of us, making it hard to focus on our work or even enjoy our time off. I've talked to friends who feel like they're walking on eggshells, constantly worried about their next paycheck. It's exhausting. The pressure to keep up with rising costs while feeling like your job could vanish at any moment creates a perfect storm for financial depression. And then there's the housing affordability crisis. For many young adults, the dream of owning a home feels more like a fantasy. The thought of being stuck in a rental, pouring money into someone else's investment, adds another layer of frustration. I recently spoke with a young adult who broke down in tears over the news headlines. They felt trapped, like they were running in place, while the world around them kept moving forward. It's heartbreaking to see how these economic realities can lead to panic attacks and a sense of hopelessness that we need to talk about this. It's crucial to acknowledge how these economic pressures are affecting our mental health. We're not just dealing with numbers. We're dealing with real emotions, real fears. It's okay to feel anxious or overwhelmed. It's a natural response to an uncertain world. The important thing is to find ways to cope and support each other through these tough times. Whether it's talking to a friend, seeking professional help, or simply taking a moment to breathe, we can navigate this together. Let's not ignore the impact of these economic stressors. They're real and they matter. It's time we start having open conversations about how to manage our mental health in the face of economic uncertainty. Every day, I wake up to the news, and it feels like I'm stepping into a world where fear is the new normal. Mass shootings, public violence, it's everywhere. Even if I've never faced violence myself, just hearing about it constantly creates this low-level anxiety that lingers in the back of my mind. It's like a shadow that follows me, whispering reminders of the dangers that lurk in everyday life. As a parent, I can't help but worry about my kids' safety at school. I send them off with a kiss, but there's this nagging thought. What if? What if something happens while they're there? I find myself scrolling through news articles, trying to stay informed, but each story just adds to the weight of worry. It's exhausting to work. I notice my colleagues glancing around, their eyes darting to the exits during meetings. We're all on edge, hyper-aware of our surroundings. It's not just about getting the job done anymore. It's about making sure we're safe. I've seen people avoid crowded spaces altogether. Concerts, festivals, even just a busy cafe. The joy of being around others is overshadowed by the fear of what could happen. Surveys show that gun violence is now one of the top stressors for adults in the U.S. It's hard to believe that something so pervasive can seep into our daily lives, affecting our mental health and our sense of security. We're living in a time where the threat of violence is a part of our reality, and it's reshaping how we interact with the world. I think about how this chronic fear impacts us. It's not just about the big events. It's the little things, too. The way we choose our routes when driving, the way we scan a room before sitting down, the conversations we have with our kids about safety. We're teaching them to be cautious, to be aware, but at what cost? Are we robbing them of their childhood innocence? This constant state of hypervigilance is draining. It's like carrying a backpack filled with bricks everywhere I go. I want to enjoy life, to feel free, but the weight of fear is always there, reminding me to be careful, to be alert. It's a struggle to find balance between being aware and not letting fear dictate my life, that I know I'm not alone in this. Many of us are navigating this new reality together, trying to find ways to cope. We share our stories, our fears, and our hopes for a safer future. It's a tough conversation, but it's one we need to have. We need to talk about how this fear affects us and what we can do to reclaim our sense of safety and peace that, in the end, it's about finding a way to live fully despite the fear. It's about creating spaces where we can feel secure, where we can gather without looking over our shoulders. We owe it to ourselves and to the next generation to strive for a world where fear doesn't overshadow our lives. Every day, I wake up to a world that feels like it's teetering on the edge. Climate disasters are no longer just headlines. They're becoming our reality. Wildfires, hurricanes, and floods are wreaking havoc, and it's hard not to feel a sense of dread when I think about what's next. It's like we're living in a movie where the plot keeps thickening, but instead of a hero, we're left with a sense of helplessness. Then there are the wars and conflicts that seem to erupt without warning. It's not just distant news anymore. It's personal. Friends and family are affected, and the ripple effects reach us all. I scroll through social media and see the pain, the displacement, the fear. It's overwhelming. I can't help but think about the future we're inheriting. Will we ever find peace? Will we be able to rebuild what's been lost? And let's not forget the humanitarian crises that seem to multiply by the day. Millions are displaced, struggling for basic needs, while we sit in our comfortable homes, often feeling paralyzed by the enormity of it all. It's a heavy weight to carry, knowing that while we're worried about our next job or our social media presence, there are people fighting for survival. It's a stark reminder of privilege, and it fuels a sense of existential anxiety that's hard to shake off. As a member of Gen Z, I often feel like we're stuck in a paradox. We're more aware than ever, yet often feel powerless. We're bombarded with information, but it's hard to know what to do with it. Activism is in our DNA, but sometimes it feels like shouting into the void. We want to make a difference, but the challenges are so vast, it's easy to feel disheartened. But here's the thing. We're also a generation of resilience. We've seen the worst, and somehow we're still here, still fighting. We're redefining what it means to be engaged, to care, and to act. We're using our voices, our platforms, and our creativity to push for change. We're not just the future, we're the present, and we're demanding a seat at the table that it's okay to feel anxious. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. But let's channel that energy into action. Let's support each other, educate ourselves, and advocate for those who can't. The world may be chaotic, but together, we can create a ripple effect of hope and change. We owe it to ourselves and to the generations that will follow. I find myself lying awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, my mind racing with the weight of the world. It's like a never-ending loop of heavy news stories playing in my head. Each headline feels like a brick added to my chest, making it harder to breathe. I scroll through my phone, but instead of feeling connected, I feel this overwhelming urge to avoid texts and notifications. It's as if every ping is a reminder of the chaos outside my door. At work, I zone out, staring blankly at my computer screen. My mind drifts, but it's not a peaceful escape. It's a frantic search for relief from the constant barrage of bad news. I can't focus on tasks that once excited me. Instead, I'm trapped in a cycle of anxiety and panic, feeling like I'm just going through the motions. I've noticed changes in myself. I'm more irritable, more withdrawn. Friends reach out, but I hesitate to respond. It's easier to retreat into my own bubble than to engage with a world that feels so heavy right now. I think about what my therapist said. Our nervous systems aren't designed for endless crisis updates. It resonates deeply. The stress builds up, and it shows up in our mental health. I've started to recognize the signs of emotional numbness creeping in. I scroll past heartbreaking stories without feeling much at all. It's like I've built a wall to protect myself, but in doing so, I've also shut out joy and connection. I wonder if I'm losing touch with what it means to feel. Sleep problems have become my new normal. I toss and turn, haunted by images of suffering and despair. I wake up exhausted, my mind still racing with thoughts of what I can't control. It's a vicious cycle. The more I consume, the more I feel the weight of it all, and the less I can function. I've realized that I need to take a step back. I can't keep absorbing this constant stream of negativity without consequences. I've started setting boundaries around my news consumption. I limit my exposure, focusing on the stories that matter, but also taking time for self-care. I've found solace in nature, in books, and in conversations that uplift rather than drain me. It's a journey, and I know I'm not alone in this struggle. Many of us are feeling the impact of constant exposure to heavy news. It's okay to take a break, to prioritize our mental health. We need to remember that it's not about ignoring the world. It's about finding balance. We can engage with the news without letting it consume us. It's about reclaiming our peace in a chaotic world. Every day, we're bombarded with news that can feel overwhelming. It's easy to get caught in a cycle of anxiety and stress. But there are practical steps we can take to cope with this constant influx of information. First, let's talk about limiting news checking. Instead of scrolling through headlines all day, set specific times to catch up on the news. Maybe it's once in the morning and once in the evening. This way, you stay informed without letting the news dictate your mood throughout the day. Next, avoid doom scrolling. You know what I mean? Endlessly scrolling through negative news stories that only amplify your stress. When you catch yourself doing this, take a step back. Shift your focus to something more uplifting, whether it's a funny video or a heartwarming story. Another powerful tip is to concentrate on what you can control. It's easy to feel helpless when faced with global issues, but remember, you can control your reactions and your actions. Focus on small, positive changes you can make in your own life or community. This could be volunteering, supporting local businesses, or simply being kind to those around you. Discussing news with supportive people can also be incredibly helpful. Find friends or family members who share your concerns, but can also provide a balanced perspective. Talking things through can help you process your feelings and gain new insights. And don't underestimate the importance of taking tech breaks. Step away from your devices and engage in activities that bring you joy. Go for a walk, meditate, or dive into a good book. These moments of disconnect can recharge your mind and spirit, allowing you to return to the world with a clearer perspective. Remember, it's okay to take a break from the news. Prioritize your mental health. By implementing these strategies, you can navigate the complexities of today's world with greater ease and resilience. Embrace the moments of joy and connection in your life, and don't let the news overshadow them.